My name is Victor Elias. I've been in prison 14 years now. I'm about to get out in 75 days. I'm about to get released. They used to call me Nutty from Pomona, from Ghetto Family. Uh, I used to be a gang member, but I decided to change my life. To walk a righteous path, a better path. Trying to do good and focus. I got plans when I get out to stay away from gangs. To pursue my education career. I'm trying to be a psychologist. Like a counselor for kids. That are part of the lifestyle. I want to be a drug counselor too. Those are some of my goals that I got in mind. But other than that, I'm gonna get out, work, and pretty much. This is me wanting to tell my story of what I've been through, of where I came from, so I never forget, and to help the homie Anthony get some views, so he can come up, too.
If you would kindly, well, man, pick up where you left off, bro, and let us know, man, everything that you've had to endure, arriving to that county. And what was your experience like, man?
Okay. Man, so my experience, I was like 19 years old, I had started, I was from the hood. I got into the hood, Ghetto Family, and not at 19, but I was banging Ghetto Family, and we weren't a gang yet. So when I hit LA County Jail, people were asking me, "Hey, where you from?" So I would automatically say, "Yeah, I'm from Ghetto Family." So I guess Sureños at that time, a big homie Lalo from Lomas, Lalo had a green light on all taggers. So anybody that was from a tagging crew and you go in there trying to bang it, you're gonna get smashed. You're green lighted, So you're getting a wave of 39 seconds every week. So that's something that I had to go through. I went to Supermax to 629. And I was right there with some dude from Hazard and some fool from Puente. They kept getting me fucking smashed every week. It was something new. They'll come up with something new, and I had to go through the ringer. And it got me beefed up. I had to learn, quick. I had to learn quick. Damn, these fools are hating on me because I don't want to say that I'm a resident. Instead, I guess when you hit LA County, they say you gotta run Southsider or resident. So if you're a Southsider, you're from a barrio or Sureño. It's when you're plugged in, under the M. So you gotta choose Sureño, Southsider, or resident when you sign up for the RC for the roll calls. So every time that I would go to the RC, they'll ask me where you from. And I'll say I'm from Pomona, from Ghetto Family, Ghetto Familia, and that you fools ain't a gang, so we're gonna put resident, homie. And I was like, no, you're not, homie. You're gonna put Southsider because that's what I am, homie. We're gonna get our thresh, homie. Don't trip. Don't worry about all that. That's for you not to worry about. And homies would feel a certain type of way about that, so it would bring a lot of issues to me. They'll be like, well, you're not from a gang, homie. You guys don't got a 13, so therefore, you're gonna get smashed, homie, if you don't put resident. And I wouldn't. At that time, I was just like, you know what? That's where I'm from. That's where I'm banging, and that's what it is. Whether you like it or not, I'm not gonna run resident. Period. So you could run whatever you gotta run. You could bring whatever you gotta bring. I'll run that shit, homie. And that's what I did. That's what my mentality was. My mentality was to just run it off the top, just well, at the time I had a lot of homies that were hitting the county too, and instead of banging it, they started. A lot of them would run resident, and they wouldn't go through the ringer like a couple of us did. Like I send a shout out to my homie Bala.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
There was a few of us that put it down. Me, Nutty. They used to call me Nutty. My homie Little Pyro. My homie Stomper, Blackie, Bugsy, Big Pyro, and who else was it? It was not that, and Bala. It was only like 7 or 8 of us that were really pushing that hard line to get our blessings from the MA, you know. And eventually, you know, I kept getting beat up every week. I'll go to court. I have black guys going to court. And one day I ran into one of the big homies that was in the back, Lalo. And you know, he asked me why did I have black eyes. I told him like why I have black eyes, and I said because we want to be a 13, homie. We want to earn our 13, you know. So what's up? What do I gotta do? I didn't know that he was a big homie, so he's like, hey, don't trip, homie. I'm gonna have somebody holler. He was in high power, but they had put me in the bus with him. One day we were going to court, and he was right in front of me. He was in single cages, and I was in the double cages. I forgot who I was next to, but I started chopping it up with him, and he told me that he's gonna have somebody holler at me, and to do something, and I won't get smashed no more. So, you know, long story short, somebody approached me in the county. Somebody got at me. They're like, hey, you know, this is coming from Utiwu, and they're asking if you could do this and do that when you go to court. You gotta take care of something. And I said yes. I was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Don't trip. So I told my crimies, like, hey, homie, look, this is what it's going to be. When we go to court, this is what's going down. This is what we got to do. So are you guys with me or not? Both my crimies, they were running resident. But they say they weren't, but they were. They were running resident. But whatever I said, them fools would do whatever I said, you know? So I just like, all right, look, this is what we're going to do. When we go to court, we're gonna smack this for the homies. So we did it. We smacked somebody in court. We did our thing. Put the courtroom on lockdown. We didn't even go out that day because we put that shit on lockdown for smacking somebody in the court tanks. And then, boom, after that, it stopped. I was good, you know. Everywhere that I went, I stopped getting beat down. You know, they stopped the green light for a little bit. And then, yeah, it just stopped, period. You know, I landed in 3600 with the homie Blue from 12th Street. That's my boy growing up. Adam Delgado, that's my mother. You know, we ran into each other again. We know each other since childhood. He's fighting life. And, yeah, he actually got life for something. That's my boy, though. You know, he didn't even do it. But, well, when I ran into Adam in 3600, I ended up going to the hole for some. This is when I started getting into politics in the county. You know, when I started learning the ropes of politicking and shit. In 3600, I had a Sally that was a white boy, and we found out that he had a on his jacket. So one day, you know, I pulled down his curtain. And boom, like, hey, get your up and get the of his cell. And then, you know, I end up smashing him. I go to the hole for 30 days, and while I'm in the hole, I'm down to my last days in the hole. And I guess this is where I wrote some. This is where I started learning how to politic. Like, I went through. So I guess there was some black fool named Tiny Jizzle from Neighborhood Crib. He was always disrespecting homies like Southsiders. So he had came from the gang module. He had landed in 2400 in 2011 around April or May. I want to say April or May is when this riot happened. Well, Tiny Jizzle came from the gang module. He was in Denver row on the top tier. I was on Baker row. So there are 2-man cells upstairs, and then the 4-man cells downstairs on Baker Row. So it goes Abel, Baker, Charlie, Denver. So right above us is Denver Row. So he was right above us. He was by himself in the cell. He was known for disrespecting the homies. He would always be like, talking shit to Southsiders. He's pushing well, in 2011 on the 2400, the floor was the homie Sammy from Sangra. I was in the hole for 30 days for smashing a chomo, while I was in 3600 before I handled this white boy before that. And I landed in 2400 with the homie Vago from Little Valley and Capone from Westside Armenian Power. They had been assisting with the block right there that I was in. A black that came from the gang module named Baby Jizzle from Neighborhood Crip. He landed on the top tier in D-Pod, and I was right below in B-Pod. D-Pod was 2-man cells, as I said, and anyways, where I was, B-Pod was Moko from Florence. Moko had the little tier right there. While Baby Jizzle from Neighborhood Crip from 60s, he was running his mouth as we were shutting down our program one night. And, I had 3 Black Sallys at the time. I had 3 Black Sallys. So I told my Black Sallys were on the tier, like, hey, Black, can you please stop disrespecting other races? And, that fool told them, shut the up the tier, wooty woo, this and that. So from that, the homies start riding kites, like, hey, since we can't get to him, we're gonna get to his people, which I didn't understand. My mind couldn't. I didn't accept that, because it's like, why am I gonna get to his people that are innocent bystanders? I never believed in hitting innocent bystanders as my own belief. I never believed in that, and as
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
As they're riding kites saying we're going to get to his people, You
have 60 seconds remaining.
Can you guys hold off? Because I'm by myself, I'm by myself. I'm in here with 3 big-ass blacks. You guys can't wait to even out the numbers, move another homie in here with me. That way we even out the numbers before you guys decide to go ahead and make this move, because I'm small. At that time I was small. I was like 120 at that time. Now I'm 170. You want me to call back?
Yes, please call back, brother.
All right. Okay, I'm going to call back right now.
Hey, you're doing a great job, by the way.
So where I left off was, one night we were shutting down program, and Tiny Jizzle started disrespecting. Then the kites came, all the kites. I tried to tell them if they could hold off, because I was, I'm in there by myself. I'm a small dude. So I was like, man, you guys can't hold off. You guys can't wait. If you guys cannot wait, go ahead and send me a piece so I can handle my business. So they send me a piece. They send me a knife. So it was like, oh, shit. So the dude's sleeping, so I have to literally go through the bars and grab the toothpaste with the knife in it. 2 of the dudes are asleep and 1 of them is awake, right? So, dog, what the crazy? It's like 1 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning now. All this was waiting because I was going back and forth with them on kites. I'm trying to defuse the situation because it's not that serious. It's 1 person upstairs that is disrespecting, and the rest of the blacks are trying to keep the peace. So to me, in my head, it didn't make sense to go ahead and move on these people, So, anyways, that took a while. It went from 10 o'clock all the way to 1 o'clock of going back and forth with these dudes for 1 times. They send me the piece. I get the piece. I sit on my bunk. I'm reflecting like, damn, like, am I really going to do this right now? I'm really going to do this right now because I'm obligated, because I want to earn my blessed too. So I gotta show out. I gotta represent. So that was just going through my mind. My mentality was like that. at that time, and so I tie the piece to my hand so they don't rip it out of my hand. I get up and I'm pacing back and forth, and on the one time they told me, as soon as you kick it off, say animal raza and kick it off. So now
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So now it's on me to kick this whole mother pier off, both top and bottom, right? So I'm getting up, pacing back and forth. I see the sheriff do his last walk. Bam, all right. He does his 1 o'clock walk, like 1:30 or 1 o'clock. He does his walk. As soon as he passes, I wait for him to leave. Boom, he leaves. And then I get up and I tell some black dude named my Sally's was Goofy from Lancaster, bad influence gangster. Trey Stone from Insane Long Beach, and some other black from Grape Street. I don't remember his name, but he was from Grape Street. Well, there was 3 blacks in the cell with me. The Grape Street dude was asleep. Trey Stone was asleep. Goofy was awake from bad influence gangsters. So Goofy was laying down, and I'm pacing back and forth, and I tell Goofy, like, hey, Goofy, get up. And he's like, what? Why? And I said, get up, fool. Get up, homie. And he's like, why? What's going on? And I was like, look, homie, this is, my people are asking me to get off on you, dog. So I'm going to give you a fair one, homie. Get your up, fool, and let's catch a fade. And he was like, what? Like, hey. I was like, get up, fool, get up. So he got up, and we squared up, Well, he didn't see the knife because I was covering it with my hand. So I put the knife out, and I start whacking that fool. Bam, bam, bam. I start stabbing him. I tackled him under the bunk, stabbing him up. And then the other blacks got up, and they started up, boom, 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 between the bunks. So I had made a plan to call out from the back bunk and keep my back against the bigger part of the cell and keep them between the racks. So I'm only fighting like 1 or 2 at a time instead of fighting all 3 of them at once, So I'm keeping them between the bunks. It was like a little strategy I did in my head to keep the bigger part of the cell with my back against it and keep them between the bunks. So I slid out, bam. My plan went exactly how I knew it was going to work out. Said, I'm going to stab this fool, tap them to the bunk. They're going to try to rush me. I'm going to slip out through the back, and I'm going to keep them between the bunks. So that's what happened. It played out exactly the way that I thought it would. So I get up. They're trying to rush me one-on-one. I'm just stabbing them every time they run up. I'm stabbing them. It was my first time stabbing somebody with a prison knife. So I kind of like, it was difficult to fight and defend myself, stabbing these dudes and defend myself at the same time, because I'm stabbing them and trying to defend myself. So I had the knife in like where my thumb was, like the point was facing toward my thumb instead of outwards. Later on, they taught me later on to keep it out so I could box and stab at the same time. I guess later I learned that. I don't know, but it was my first time, so I started stabbing these dudes. It was fucked up because a part of me was like, damn, these dudes didn't even want no problems. These dudes were getting on the tier. Like, I didn't understand it, but I was obligated because I was loyal to my people, I was loyal to the cause. I was like, man, fuck it, homie. Like, this is what it is. This is what I got to do. And, as I was stabbing them, like, I wasn't yelling. I wasn't screaming. I was just quiet. I was in a mode, like, to like, my mentality was like, I got to kill them or they're going to kill me, So I'm fighting for my life. So they're getting addiction, They're ripping sheets, throwing sheets over my neck, all that. Well, this lasted for about 5 minutes. I'm fighting for my life. Finally, one of the sheriffs decides to do another walk. He walks by. Oh, shit. He starts running down the tier because the whole tier kicked off. He's like, oh, shit. He runs out. I run toward the toilet so I can flush the knife. They're trying to rip the knife out of my hands. These dudes told me that if I lose the knife, I got something coming. I didn't give a none of that. Some dude Downer from Avenues told me, hey, if you lose that knife, you got something coming, homie. Like, whatever, dog. I don't give a flushing that. So I flushed the knife down the toilet, and them fools, they all circled in on me. Boom, boom. me up bad, and I remember I blacked out, but my back against the wall, and I remember the last thing that I seen is that dude was trying to hit me with the phone in the head. He was trying to use the phone watch to hit me in the head. I'm laid out and I'm like, get up, kept telling myself, get up, nutty, get up, get up. And I got up, boom, 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 boom. I got up. Finally, the shells came in deep, and they kept split the whole cell. Calmed everything down. I stepped out. Not just step out. Pretty much everything that we got sprayed up, and then the blacks were like, "Hey, stop fighting. We're not gonna fight no more." And I was like, "Well, if you guys, I'm not gonna stop fighting until you guys stop rushing me." So they're like, "All right, well, we won't rush you no more." And I said, "You guys cuff up first. I'm not gonna rush you guys if you guys are cuffed up, homie." And they're like, all right, it's good." So the blacks cuffed up first, and then I cuffed up last. And then they pulled us out. Well, the sergeant and them, they didn't want to put me with the rest of the people, with the rest of the homies, because they're like, "Oh, look at this face, he's fucked up." If we put, that was my first riot ever, and it was bad. Like, I was in a bad situation, and it was all over some stupid. And it was stupid. So after the COs came, they split everybody up. They put us in the cells butt ass naked. We're in there freezing cold, and I'm in there beat up. My hands swollen, broken. My nose was broken. My face was up. So I'm in there freezing cold, butt ass naked in there with 4 homies, and then this dude Moco from Florence is like, "Hey, homie, look, we gotta lie." And I was like, "We gotta lie? What do you mean we gotta lie? Fool, I ain't lying. Well, what are we gonna lie for?" And he was like, "Oh, because, homie, because we're gonna get in trouble." And I was like, "We're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble." Call. I ain't gonna lie to the homies. When the homies come and talk to me, I'm gonna tell the homies the truth, what it really is, dog. None of these blacks wanted popular. You guys are the ones who pushed the issue, dog. And I actually pushed the weight. Then was trying to rip the piece out of my hand. So the next day, the homies Sammy from Zanga and Joker from Puente, they have pulled up. Well, they're from my area, you know. So, they're like, "Hey, the little homie has to do his business. But why the fuck did you guys have this car? The little homie got killed, there were 2 guys trying south, you know." So that's when I first stepped into politics, and I started seeing like how fools would try to lie, manipulate, and like bend shit to be in their favor, you know. And I was always a believer in the truth, like the truth. Tell the truth, homie, and you'll get further in the game by being straight up honest. Like never lie. Only lie to the cops. You never lie to your comrades, to your your prisoners of war. To your homies and shit. So that's when I started to make my decision. Like, what, I'm gonna go that direction with how I want to do my time. I want to be straight up, like I'm a righteous mother, and it worked for me. And I was always good everywhere I went. After that, I got my little fame and shit, whatever. Which it was bullshit. I eventually caught the chain and went to Wasco, and then I got into another situation in Wasco where one day, me and my Sally, we stepped out of the cell. My Sally was Casper from Anaheim, from Corrupted Players. Casper, Christopher Hernandez, that's the boy right there. So, one day, we're in the cell, and it's early in the morning, and I see all the blacks come together, the Cribs, the Bloods, the Bay Area, the Fresno car. I see them all gathering in the day room. I see them congregating, so I'm like, that's funny. They never do that. So I told my Sally, like, "Hey, fool, last night I had a nightmare the night before about that we were in the riot, So I told my Sally, like, "Hey, boy, I think something's going to happen." He's like, "Why?" I said, "Because I had a nightmare that a riot kicked off with the blacks, and me and you were in it." And he was like, "Man, you're tripping. You're a J-Cat fool." I was like, "I'm a J-Cat." Like, "Nah, look, pay attention. Look what's going on outside right now. Why are all the blacks congregating?" And he was like, "Just because they can." I was like, yeah. I said, I don't know. I've been through a lot, so maybe you need to pay attention to what's going on around your surroundings, fool. And he didn't pay attention. He didn't pay attention to what I said, you know. So later on during the day, it was like night. It was night chow time now. So we stepped out. Now on the top tier, on my side, on section B section, there's only 2 homie cells. My cell, me and my Sally, and then one dude for spec. And then we had a porter, a kitchen worker, lonely for my boss. So me, the spec from Bakers, me, and my Sally Casper from Cook. There's only 4 outsiders out there. The rest are all black cells, except for 1 white cell. So the rest are all blacks. So when we step out, we go get our cell. As we're going back in, I'm about to step in my cell, and I hear the seal say, "Get the," and I turn around, and I see my Sally just get cracked. Boom! I'm like, what the? Well, they hit my Sally, and
you have 60 seconds remaining.
So, door got locked open, right? Boom! My Sally falls on the floor. I have the tray in my hand, and I see some black dude, TC from Wood Street. So TC hits my Sally. As I see him in motion hitting my Sally, I turn around and I hit him with the tray. Bam, mother! And I start rushing it. Boom, 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 boom. I'm on the top tier, just getting off on it. Bang! I'm gonna call you back. After that little riot, right? Well, my neighbors, they're trying to talk to me on the vent, obviously, you know, and they're trying to keep the peace. They're like, hey, you know, like, so they start telling me why they did it, and that name Loquito, it's not the same one that you think it is. It's a different one. It's not that one from Bakersfield. They're from the same hood, but I think it's like Little Loquito or something. I'm not sure, but it's not the same vato though. The one that chopped his Sally up. That fool's a nut right there. That fool's with the business. But this other fool, I guess this other Loquito did some tranzas with the blacks. He owed them money for some scante and for some heroin, and it was a gang of money. So the blacks felt played because he hadn't paid them on the time that he said he would. So they moved on us for him. So I was like, what? So I told my neighbors, like, well, why you guys move on us when we have nothing to do with it? If you guys are going to get it. He's like, yeah, I know, it's just the way my people wanted it to be done. And I was like, I don't understand that. I said, just for that, it's not over, dog. It's still cracking, dog. Well, a lot of my homies, they thought that I kicked it off. So they were writing me kites, like, hey, homie, you know you could get in a lot of trouble. What are you doing? Because all they seen me was running around cracking fools, dropping fools. Because I was just doping fools as sick as I can, just boom, get down, boom, to the next, boom, to the next. That's all I kept doing is doping fools. So they thought I kicked it off, so my homies were like, damn, like, well, what happened, fool? Like, and I was like, look, fool, these fools rushed my Sally, and this is what the blacks are telling me. The blacks are telling me is because this fool Loquito. Well, Loquito had the yard. He was part of the mesa at that time in Wasco in B6. It was just reception, you know. But he was on the mesa, and I didn't know that. Well, the blacks start telling me this. Well, this fool Loquito gets popped out and he comes to our door, and he's like, "What's up, homie? Are you guys good? You're okay?" And I felt kind of played. I was like, "Hey, fool, look, check this out. Fool, get the door, dog." And he's like, "Whoa, hey, little homie." I said, "Fool, I ain't your little homie, dog. First off, you know, I'm not your little homie, fool. All happened because of you, dog. Because you owe these people's money, dog. Get my door, homie." And that was like, "Hey, fool, you gotta calm down, little homie. You're a little local, dog. Calm down." And I was like, "Look, fool, I don't give a fool. When these doors open, fool, we're getting off on the blacks because the blacks ain't gonna one up us like that, fool. That's out. And all this shit is because of you, fool. Get the my door." So the homies that I was getting at some homie Dopey from Eastside Santa Barbara and Tweety from Westside Santa Barbara. Well, these fools were trying to take a seat on the yard, and this fool Loquito, he didn't have no idea. So now I'm trying to politic on this, trying to get this move. Well, somehow, some way, a kite gets dropped on me and my Sally, and we end up leaving, right? We end up going to another yard. Then I run into one of the homie strangers from Barrio Bakers too, Beto Hurtado. I run into him like, what's up? He becomes my Sally, and I tell him like, hey fool, your homeboy did this, your homeboy did that. Look at these reloads right here. Check this out. Hey, your homeboy is that fool's a piece of shit. That fool got the homies hurt, fool. So, you know, that fool Loquito ended up getting whacked later on behind that. He ended up getting plugged behind it. Everything caught up to that fool. And yeah, that's what that was over, you know. And then so that's strangers started teaching me little things, you know. Start lacing me up on politics in prison, you know. Start getting me prepared. And then you know, I went on a mission. And then I ended up going to Kern Valley in 2012. I went to Kern Valley on A-Yard. I landed there. And then I was in 2013, I got into a little melee where this is before the big homies got kicked out of the shoe in 2014, I think. Some of them started getting kicked out in 2013, like early DRBs. I was in Kern Valley State Prison, and at the time the bloquero was some fool named Jesse from Rialto. Llavero was Miklo, just a bunch of dudes, you know. Well, the situation in 2013, some homie named Frosty from Imperial.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Frosty started running up dope debts with the homies and the blacks. The homies asked Frosty to stop getting in debt and stop getting high, but no results came out of it. So he started to bully people and tell them that he'll pay them when he wants to. I guess some fool named Clumsy from Chula Vista was slanging dope too, and Clumsy sold Frosty some dope. And I guess Frosty and Clumsy, they have history on the streets, right? Yada yada. Long story short, it ended up coming out to where Frosty's name gets put in the hat. The homies tell me that I'm on standby. Frosty gets whacked by 3 shooters. All of Frosty's homies run in, and it was a melee, dog, like a melee kicked off in 2013. You know, I started to put my hood on the map like that, little by little. You know, I started to meet people. I started to contact people. You know, and you know, my homies would get at me. So 2013, you know, I put in my little work in prison, got my little reputation up. You know, it wasn't too much. You know, it was just, you know, just with the business, just trying to earn the pleasure. In 2014, December 29th, is when the homie said that we're part of the family in Pomona. So they reached out to me. They're like, hey, Nutty, we just want to let you fools know that you fools are part of the family now. You know, whatever you guys need, we're right here. And, you know, boom, like, and, well, just for that, I went, that was actually, December 28th, because the next day, I went on a holiday just for that, you know, for the homie from the city, for the OG from the city. I smashed some fool Mighty Mouse from Tulare County. I went on a little holiday, you know, smacked that, went to the hole, you know, got out, beat the, you know, like, and hit A-Yard again, back on A-Yard and 7 block, and then, you know, I started coming up, started getting cell phones in 2015. I started doing my thing, started contacting the hood more, you know, had a little dope. I was doing my thing. I was, you know, I had a good name, you know, I was never in debt. I was always known for putting in work for the hood, you know. And everybody knew me, like, hey, that was cool. Like, but, you know, 2015, I was doing a shoe term right there in Kern Valley. And I guess my great grandma, she had passed away. And my family was waiting for me to reach out to them and contact them. But I was in the shoe, so I couldn't, you know. So I was doing the shoe term, I mean. And
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I got a letter from my pops well, my pops is he's a gang member too, you know, like I said, like I told you in the first interview, my whole family was gang related, you know. So that's why I chose the path that I went down, you know, because it was just, to me, it was the normal, you know. So, well, what happened, my dad wrote me a letter talking about, you know, hey, mijo, like, I'm disappointed in you because, you know, you can't seem to stay out of trouble. You're always in the hole. You're always doing shoe turns. Like, what's up with you? Like, you know, mijo, you got to change. You got to break the cycle, you know. And he started preaching, like, that was sentimental to me. You know, I never got a letter from my pops in prison. That was the first letter. And I was like, damn, you know, he started hitting me with quotes from the Dalai Lama, quotes from different people, like about change. Like, change means nothing without action, you know. So he started telling me to break the cycle in our family. So he planted a seed, you know, he planted the seed of change into my head. And I didn't realize it at that time. So in 2016, you know, I was slinging dope. I had a phone. I was always on with my girl, you know, like we were like, I used to take care of her. I used to send her gifts, send her food, flowers, bears. Like, I was doing my thing, dog. I used to send my homies feria so they could go buy her roses, like that, and then have them drop it off to her while she was at work. You know, like, and you know, I had me and my homie Blackie. We had the hood at the time. Like 2016, they were trying to say that the hood was gonna get green lighted. You know, like, so I put a stop to it. I reached out to some people, put a stop to it, you know, like, hey, check this out, you know, butted heads with a couple homies from my hood over it, because, you know, people don't know that what I have to go through in here, you know, I go through something different from what you guys go through out there. You guys are out there smoking dope, getting high, while I'm in here trying to make money, trying to take care of me and my, you know, like, trying to eat food so I could be good in here. And yeah, they didn't respect what I was going through in here, you know. A lot of my homies didn't understand it because they never been to prison, especially on level 4 on 180s, you know. Like, I did majority of my time, 14 years on level 4s. I've only hit one level 3 out of 14 years, and I was only there for 8 months because I got off. You know, like, I'm just at that time, my mentality was always anything, the hood comes first. I put the hood over my family. That was my mentality before, like, because my family never really did for me. The homies used to give me money here and there, send me pictures, write letters. Like, I had it coming, but over the years, it slowly stopped. You know, it slowly stopped coming. And then, you know, that seed that my dad planted, it started to grow. You know, like to grow, like, with change. And, you know, I told my family, like, man, like, you know, one day I had my dad helping me out with money, and he didn't know that I was moving money for them dudes. And I told him, like, hey, that money has to be done right now. Like, you need to send all that money right now. And he's like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me that it's for them? And I was like, because, like, I thought you already knew, fool. Like, you know. And me and my dad had stopped talking for a while behind me. He felt like, you know, so, you know, I send them with their little issue. And, yeah, it was just a lot, you know. Like, I started to see that my family was pulling away from me, and that seed that my dad planted started to grow. Like, damn, well, my family matters more to me than this, you know. Then I started to see the way that homies were getting done, like fools getting blasted, what they're getting blasted for. One of my boys, Thumper from Suicide Chicas, rest in peace. No, I think Thumper is dead, but they killed that fool in the yard for some bull, you know, like for some straight. Like, that fool was a good homie. He'll get in dead, but he was a righteous homie, you know. Like, that fool, he was a knucklehead, you know, but still he didn't deserve to die for whatever it was, you know. I seen a little youngster from Reno Valley just raise his hand for a pop, and he got killed by the cops, and there was no retaliation behind it. So I just started seeing, like, things like, damn, like, this is watered down, like, it's not Like, I didn't know that I'm sacrificing everything for this to be like this. And if I get done dirty,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
they're not gonna go to bat for me. You know what I mean? So I just started to like slowly gravitate towards change. You know, like I'm like, damn, like slowly gravitated, and a lot of my homies start recognizing it. Like, hey, fool, what's going on with you? And I was like, man, I'm changing, dog. Like this pussy ain't for me, dog. Like I'm missing out on life, fool. Started trying to earn a name and all that. I just started the seed that my dad planted. It grew and it grew and it grew and it grew, and it started to blossom into making me the person that I am today. You know. You want me to call you back? Yeah. So, little by little, you know, I started to gravitate towards change. You know, towards being a better person. But I was still with the business. I guess you could say I was still like ready for anything. You know, the only difference was like, if it comes, it comes, but I'm not looking for it no more, you know? That was my mentality. So as that started to happen, I you know, I was involved with the hood, you know, like 2017 came, you know, I ended up going to a level 3, you know, on an override. So I got an override to Ironwood, and I was there for like eight months, you know, and then you know, I ended up getting into it with some kid from Indiana Dukes. I showed him some dope. He gave me some bunk numbers. He kept playing games, so I smashed him like without asking permission. I smashed him. So then fools foul played. I guess the mesa, they're like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and fine you 1,500, and you got something coming. I got stabbed. I got fined, and I went in the shower with somebody, you know, and went at it with somebody. So all like just because this fool disrespected me, you know, and so I had that hanging over my head, you know, like, then they're trying to like, hey, you owe another favor, and I was like, how do I owe another favor when I did 3 things already, dog? Like,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Well, some dude named Dillinger from Monte Flores, and some fucking lame ass fool Blanco from Choppers, well, them fools were the ones that were trying to send me on another holiday, you know, not knowing that everything that I already went through. I went in the shower with somebody, I got blasted with a Piero, and I paid 1,500. So why are you fools coming at me with this booze? Are you gonna go with me? And they're like, oh, well, we're here for the mesa, homie, so we can't. And I was like, if you go with me, I'll do it. But they didn't want to go with me, you know. So, anyways, you know, I ended up going back to a level 4. I ended up going back to Centinela on B yard. Well, when I was in Centinela, you know, again, I was minding my own business, you know, just only fucking with my homies from my city, just keeping to myself, you know, just trying to do good. And there was this dude, Little Monster from Isa Wimas. You know, he's little dolphin ass fool, you know, like he just likes running his mouth, likes playing around like a kid, you know. And one day that fool slapped me in the day room, so I slapped him back. Boom. And I knocked his ass out, fool. Boom. Put tips on and rocked. So in my head, I've been through this. I didn't want to go through the consequences again. I didn't want to have to go and reach out to my family and ask them to pay $1,500 for me defending myself as a man, you know, for me standing up for my own beliefs. Like, I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect me, dog. And that's one thing that they say that they tell us is to stand up for ourselves. Like, never let no one disrespect us, right? So I didn't. I smashed that fool, beat the dog shit out of him, and then for just just to drop out. I was right there undecisive about it. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm gonna go back and just explain everything, like, and it'll be good. But it wasn't gonna be good, because just that's just the way it works. They're gonna. I'm close to going home now. If I would have never dropped out, I would have never been going home right now. I would have been stuck in there, still trying to earn a name. I didn't even move it. Yeah, and then so I made a decision to. I was like, you know what, it's done, it's over, and I dropped out. In 2019 on February 17th. Well, you know what? The CEOs, they try to tell you like, oh, these S&Y yards, they're better. You could go home, or whatever. I ended up going triple CMS. I ended up going through the mental health system. Now I'm EOP now, but it's just going through the mental health system. And the mental, just seeing how these yards are and these S&Y yards, what they are, like all the gangs like that are on these yards. Like, I got my face sliced. I've been in riots, like on S&Y yards. Like, it's like the same. It's a lot more active on these yards. So for me to make it home coming from this side, and to not be a part of nothing, it's like it's a blessing. Like, it's a blessing. To that I made it this far. And I'm ready to go home and commit to that change that my dad told me about, breaking the chain, breaking the cycle, like of my family of coming to prison. A lot of my little primos and my relatives, they look up to me, because I was like really involved with some, like I've really been on the yard with dudes and so a lot of them look up to me, like, but not when I checked in. A lot of them gave me the coach order, which I don't mind. It's cool. I made my choice, and I'm living with it, and I feel happy to be who I am today, and I'm not ashamed. I don't walk with my head down. I'll keep my head high. I've been through way more than what I've shared, but I just shared like the main parts that defined me and gave me character and made me who I am today. Look, I'm not gonna lie, like, a part of me sometimes I regret it. I regret making my decision, but at the same time, that's because of my pride. The things, like, my message to those out there that are young, that are thinking about becoming from a gang, is just really think about it before you do it. Like, really, like, see how much a person is willing to sacrifice for you, and how much your family is willing to sacrifice for you. Look at the things to learn the principles and the values. Once you learn your principles and your values, you'll see a big difference. Like, one thing that I value now is my family. Value your family, because your family is gonna be there for you in the end, more than anybody, more than your homies, more than the hood, more than all the, like, more than dudes that say they got your back. Because when it's your time to go, the ones that are close to you are gonna be the ones to get you. And that's facts. That's just part of the game. And yeah, I advise you guys, young out there, that to stay away from this. And this in the end, it's not worth it, because it's just either death or life in prison.